Awesome. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. I'll give you guys a few moments to log on because I got some things I want to say. So, I'll give you guys a few moments. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we will have a special guest come on with us. Her name is Therapy with Brea. You probably have seen her on here with us before. She is a mental health therapist, and she is really sweet. She actually drops a lot of gems every time we have a discussion with her. And today we'll be talking about toxic relationships and toxic friends. But before we get into all of that, I want to let you guys know that for the month of February, we are having a spa special where we are offering 2 flawless facials, and that can be you and anybody, it doesn't matter. 2 flawless facials for the entire month of February, along with a pamper kit, a sample pamper kit for you and whoever else you'd like to bring. And when I say whoever you like to bring, it could be your mother, sister, cousin, brother, best friend, baby girl, son, it don't matter. As long as it's 2 of you, you guys can get the service, okay? And that's all for $250 the entire month of February, okay? So please don't miss out on that. Let me see. I think I seen her log on, you guys. Hold on a second. I think there she is. Oh. I hope you guys are staying warm. I live in Texas. We're in Texas, as you guys know, and it's really hot. Hey, Brea, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm so happy to have you here with us today.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I let the people know what we'll be discussing today in regards to toxic relationships and toxic friendships and how to handle those relationships.
Yes, that's been a topic of my office all week long, especially with Valentine's.
Really?
So it's right on time.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, before we get started, can you please tell the people where they can find you and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I am Brea. I've been on this page a couple times with the lady,
Mm-hmm.
chatting it up. You can find me at therapy with Brea underscore. Oh yeah, therapy with underscore Brea Brea. I'm a therapist in the Houston area. I'm licensed in Houston as well as Pittsburgh, and then I also I have a group private practice, and then I work with foster kids on the side. So that is what I do.
Awesome. Also, you guys, I will leave her at down below. So if you guys missed anything that she said or forgot, I will leave all that underneath when I post this live. So let's go ahead and get into it. What are some toxic traits of an unhealthy or toxic relationship or friendship?
Okay, so every relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic, the basis is friendship. So if like my romance, it's really the same traits. So I would say jealousy, right? Being controlling, talking about you behind your back, gaslighting you, those
Yeah.
type of things. I'm sorry, my dog just wants to be great for so
It's
bad.
okay.
He wants to be noticed. But yeah, things like that. Trying to invalidate your feelings, right? Calling you dumb, calling you stupid. It can go as far as like being abusive physically as well as emotionally, right? Because we're talking about that as well. So those are
Yeah.
some toxic traits that I can think of on the top of my head. Blaming you, not really letting you talk about like how you feel. It's really about them, very self-centered. So those are some traits that come to mind.
Okay. What are I guess how do you how I guess what I'm trying to say is how do you understand like what you're going through, like how do you come to the realization or accept the fact that hey, I'm in a toxic situation and I don't know what to do? Like would you recommend to maybe like talk to a friend or maybe talk to the person directly and be like, hey, I feel like this and I want to talk to you about it? Or would you recommend, probably keeping your distance?
I would recommend probably talking to a friend, get someone outside of the situation. Sometimes if that person is super toxic, they're going to try to manipulate you and make you feel like it's you or, oh, it's just you guys'
Yeah.
love so intense. And it just depends who you're talking to. Sometimes a partner has like a toxic trait, like not over talking you, but like blaming you for things. But they don't really
Yeah.
know they're doing that. You know what I mean? So you can talk to them about that. Really just depends. But if I had a client, I would always tell them, hey, talk to other people around you and try to
Mm-hmm.
see like what they see, because you never can see like what's going on when you're in the relationship, right? And the other
Right.
people, how do you feel in this relationship? If you're always feeling sad and crying, that's not love. A lot of people think that hard, and you see it in like the tabloids and on movies, and that's not normal. You know, that's not healthy whatsoever.
It's very unhealthy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. What if you're not emotionally equipped to, like, to confront the issue? Like, you pretty much just are staying stagnant, and it's like you don't want to step on their toes or offend them or even put yourself in danger.
Yeah, I would say if it's that bad, do your best to try to reach out to one person that you feel like you can talk with, like that. Maybe this person's an abuser. Try to go with one person that you feel like they're not going to be suspicious of, or they're not going to follow you when you go there, and try to tell them
Yeah.
what's. I think the best thing you can do is try to talk to a professional or try to get some type of help. I don't want to sit here and say, well, you can't do anything. You have to do your best to do something. There have been women in the pandemic that I've seen online that they've had like certain hand signals that they've done to help people understand like they're in a toxic situation or abusive relationship and they need help. Because sometimes they can't go outside their home, you know.
Yeah.
So trying to do something. There's another woman that a man was abusing her and she called 911. She was actually told him she was ordering pizza, and
I've
she got
seen that.
called because
Hmm.
she didn't know what to do. So you have to figure out sometimes it's not as direct, but you try your best to get out of the situation because nothing's gonna come good of that, of staying in that situation.
Right. And you said hand signals. Would hand signals be something that you would just make up on your own? Or these like hand signals you can probably like actually like find, like maybe like Google, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, I guess I'm asking, is there like a certain hand gesture that people would know? Like, hey, I'm being abused, or
So
like,
from what I've seen, you probably could Google it at this point. It was like a TikTok thing that happened, and one lady she did a certain hand signal, and another lady noticed that she was like in danger, like she could see it in her eyes, like just her hand movements, like how her body language was. So then after that,
yeah,
I saw it go viral, and there was other women that were mimicking that exact hand signal, you know, like, "Hey, I'm in danger too." So I think it was
right,
something honestly made up, and then people started catching on, and it was kind of a safe way for them to communicate, like, "Hey, I'm not.
right.
Someone help me."
Okay, because yeah, when you said hand signals, I'm thinking of actual like sign language. I'm like, is this like an actual like legit form of signal, or is this like, like you said, like a something that everybody was just catching on to, like something else probably just made up. So that's very interesting. I know I did see that video of a lady calling, saying she's going to call a pizza, and she was actually dialing 911. So that is a very a good example. I remember seeing that. What are some steps to detox from a toxic situation? And that's in a romantic situation or a platonic situation.
Okay, so detoxing from that is much better because as I've gotten older, you know, and being the person I am, I definitely have had to detox felt like were great for me and they weren't. So that was me taking my distance. Sometimes that friend at all. You know what I mean? Especially if it was super toxic. If I just outgrew it, platonic, kind of like, you know, like we can be cool, but I don't really want to talk to you. But if it's very toxic, you want to like not have any communication with that person, and then
Yeah.
with people that you really feel like love you, that care, bring out that person that you really feel like you are. You know what I mean? So I think the only thing I really would say is not engaging with them anymore, and that means like you need to mute them on Instagram, Facebook, delete the number, block them, do it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
petty. If you really
It's,
feel like it's a negative situation for you, you have to get yourself out of that situation. Because sometimes when people are toxic, they keep communicating with you, thinking that's like, oh, I'm fighting for this friendship. When it's like, no, this is toxic. Like, we need to stop.
exactly. Like I will
Yeah.
say, like my personal experiences in a romantic relationship and platonic, I've had those situations where it's like, I blocked you. I blocked your phone number. I blocked your email. I blocked 2 of your Instagrams. I blocked your Facebook, and you're still. And it's like there's nothing to fight for. It's like this is unhealthy, when I'm around, and it's like I said, platonic or romantic. It's like you don't appreciate me. It's like it's not a fair exchange. So that's very interesting. What would you say, or what advice would you have for somebody who's struggling to find inner peace? Like they let someone go, but in in their life that probably was very valuable to them, but they're still upset. Like they're still, regretting. Oh, I miss them. I wish things could have been different. Like I guess, what is a way for people to find inner peace and move forward from that situation?
I think you have to give yourself time and space to grieve. You know, I have a client dealing with that exact situation now. She knows logically that this friendship is not good for her. person talked about her. They spread rumors about her. They did all these different things to get back at her because they thought she liked the same guy as her. Instead of talking to her, they did something opposite. So what me and her are doing is just grieving. Like, it's okay to miss that person. Because you miss someone, you have to re-engage with them, right? So that just means her talking about the good times, grieving it, being upset, going through the stages that she has to go through. And at some point, you will let it go. But you have to grieve something before you fully just like, okay, you can know something's bad for you, but that doesn't mean you don't care about it. You spent a lot of time with that person, built memories and things of that sort.
Right. It's interesting you said, like, you know, it may be bad for you or it may not be the best for you. Like, for people, I guess, who have not the best relationships with their parents, how do you respectfully, you know, like, let them know, like, hey, you know, as a parent, you know, I respect you and anything you say to me, of course I'm going to listen, but, you know, I can't deal with, you know, your verbal abuse maybe, or, you know, maybe even your physical abuse, or even, you know, just this relationship itself, like as a whole, just, you know, how do you respectfully tell maybe even a parent, you know, that this isn't working for me?
I think you have to set boundaries with them. And if you feel like the boundaries aren't working, if you say like, hey, I feel like you speak to me in a way that I don't really like and that hurts my feelings, and they continue, family's not exempt. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Family's not exempt from being, you know, if you feel like this person is detrimental to your mental health, and you've told them like, hey, this is my problem, how can we work on it, and communicate it in a positive way, not a negative way where you're yelling, screaming, and you're berating them, right? But you communicate and they don't want to listen. At some point you have to remove yourself, because honestly, you're doing the same over and over and telling them over and over the same thing. It's really a waste of your time. Definition of consent, right? They're not getting it and they don't feel like they have to change that behavior. I think parents sometimes get stuck in the I'm the parent, you're the child. So they don't change the behavior, but that doesn't help the relationship as the child grows.
Right. I agree. I will say, I mean, I have a good relationship with my parents. And I will say they do use that, what is it? I'm the parent, you're the child, like scenario. As I've gotten older, it's gotten better because I have to let them know, like, I understand that you are my parent and I am your child, but I am not a child. Like, you know, I can hold a conversation with you and express to you how I feel and how you made me feel without coming off disrespectful or you taking it as disrespect by me just expressing myself. So, and I mean, those conversations, of course, it took a while, especially as, you know, as I was getting older and graduating from high school and going on to college. It did take them a minute to transition. But I mean, I'm 24 now, and they really do talk to me as an adult, even when they don't agree with how I feel or things that I say. So I like that. That, you know, that was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very important to know, especially, you know, when you want to continue to have a good relationship with your family.
Right.
How do you let someone know that you've outgrown them? Like, say, like, for example, I have a friendship. Sorry, I'm seeing some crazy stuff. I have a friendship, and we've been friends since high school. But I feel like I've outgrown him because it's like he's not really moving forward with certain things in life. You know, of course, you know, when you're young and you just love to have fun and act crazy all the time. But it's like as you get older, it's like, you know, we're not those crazy kids anymore. It's like, let's level up. And it's like we talk about leveling up, but it seems like I'm the only one that's really doing it. So how do you let someone know, like, without offending them or making them feel like you're above them, that you've outgrown them?
Hey, I've had that conversation too, so I understand. You know, I think it's about like having an open dialogue and asking open questions. Like, hey, I've noticed that, you know, you're doing something that I don't really enjoy doing anymore. How do you think we can, you know, do something different or like continue to grow our friendship? Like, what do you think that looks like? You have to use your own language. It's literally how I talk because of probably me being a therapist. But I think just opening dialogue around like where the friendship is going, kind of how you guys as a unit. Sometimes there's no conversation. Sometimes you have to let go. Everyone's not meant to be a part of your journey, and they always can't come to the next level with you. So I think it's honestly more about knowing when to let something go versus conversation, because sometimes things don't need a conversation. It's just a matter of it's life. We've outgrown each other. You're going this way, I'm going that way. There's no love lost, but we're just not. And you can't allow yourself to be dragged down by someone that maybe they want to party and you all talk about high school all the time, and you're like, well, I want to like open businesses and get money. I don't know, invest my money in things. They don't want to have those conversations. you're going to slowly have to try to disengage them. If you try to like bring up conversation starters and bring them along, like, hey, I'm doing this, you can join too. They're not interested. There's only so much you can do, in my opinion, you know?
I agree. I haven't talked to that person in a while, but I think they've gotten the message slowly but surely. I mean, I tried my best, but it just wasn't working, to be honest. It just really wasn't working. And for my mental health, you know, I just decided to slowly but surely excuse myself. Like you said, there's no love lost, but it's just kind of like, it is what it is. But anyway.
Right. Like, how's it, I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. It keeps freezing. But I was going to say, how does it benefit you, like, to stay their friend if you kind of feel like you're in limbo and they think everything's just like, I don't know, how it's always been, and you're kind of like trying to move forward?
Right. Like, I guess, I don't know, because like we went to school together, you know what I'm saying? We share a lot of same interests, like career-wise and things like that. But it's like, I feel like I'm the only one that's really doing things towards our career. It's like, he thinks he is, but it's just kind of like he's just playing around a little bit. And it's like, you know, I don't know. It's just like when I try to suggest things, he just kind of blows it out the water. And that's fine. You know, like he has his own life. He makes his own decision. He's his own person. But it's like he also tries to tell me what to do and just kind of like, I don't think I'm the one that needs help. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing okay. Like, yeah, I'm not saying it like that, but it's like, you know, it's like, how can you give advice when you haven't even, you know, hit certain milestones that you said you were?
Right.
Like, you know, between me and you, it's like, I'm the one that's hitting them and you're not.
Right. And that could be like he notices that, so he feels like he doesn't have anything to offer. Like that advice is like, well, all I do, but it's like, it's okay not to know. It's so to know, and it's okay to receive advice and not always give advice, right? To be a listener, not like a knower, because we don't know everything. So
exactly. And it's like, you know, what is it? We used to I wouldn't say we had a business together, but we collaborated on a bunch of things. And I don't know. It's like we're collaborating, but we're only doing everything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it wasn't going anywhere. When I started branching off doing my own thing, things started to happen for me, but yours is still stagnant. You see what I'm saying? So it was more so like that. And it's like, well, I don't know what we're doing here at this point. We're supposed to be elevating and we're being stagnant trying to collaborate. I do my own thing and I'm actually doing things and getting things done and doing the things that I want to do.
Yeah, so it sounds like that's your answer. Like, we can be cool, but maybe we just don't do this together. Not on the same page business wise, as far as how we get things done, how we do strategic, being consistent. Like, everybody not like that, you know? So it's kind of hard with friends to tell them that. But sometimes it's tough love, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Tough love is definitely needed sometimes. And with that being said, like, how do you feel about when people actually give their loved ones tough love? Like, I know some people don't agree with tough love. I know, like, especially like in family, like, say for example, you have a child that doesn't want to grow up and he doesn't want to do everything that he's supposed to do as an adult, and you know, some parents don't believe in tough love. They want to just give them all the time in the world to do the things they want to do. And some parents are like, nah, like, you know, you got this amount of time and, you know, to do what you need to do and things like that. Do you agree with tough love? Do you think it's actually influential? Like, do you think it actually gives people that push that I guess some people are hoping for them to have?
Honestly, I know you're not going to like this answer. It depends. It depends on the person, because some people are very sensitive and they're not going to react to that. It's kind of like when I was a kid, my mom, if she whooped me, I was like, okay, like I was like, you have to talk to me. My sisters, if you whoop them or look at them a certain way, they react well to that. Like, okay, got it. I want. So I feel like it depends on how every person's different. I do think there can be a balance, because you don't want to enable and just like, oh, you can stay here, you know, it's fine, and not give them any type of like push. But you also don't want to push them to a point where they feel like they're by themselves, don't want to talk to you about anything, because you're going to be pessimistic or negative or like shame them. You know, that's toxic to talk to someone in that type of manner. So I think it has to be balanced, and it also depends upon like the person, where they're at. Just communicating with them that you want better for them. If they're doing things, it's not going to get them anywhere, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say that's how my brother was. Like, he didn't understand you talking to him, he had to get a spanking, like he had to get a whooping in order for him to actually comprehend. So I guess that was like the tough love. But I was that child where, like you said, you just look at me, or you could have one good talk with me, and I understood perfectly what you were trying to say. So I agree with that. You know, everybody is different, and there is a balance that you need to have with tough love, because it may not be the best for that particular person.
Right. And it could push them away further from their goal. Now they're not even in your eyesight. They're like somewhere else doing something else they shouldn't be doing because they feel neglected or they feel the type of way. So
Right.
it just, people are wired all types of ways.
Right. I agree with that. What are the benefits of someone actually, like, taking the time to go to counseling, like relationships and family? You know, some people, don't really care for therapy and things like that. I personally think therapy is very important. I'll admit, like, when my parents separated, my mom put me in therapy to make sure I was okay and comfortable with the separation. And I was, like, I was perfectly fine. And once she knew that, she stopped taking me to therapy. But I was kind of sad because I actually grew to like my therapist and I still wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, what are the benefits of someone going to therapy for relationships or even, children or families? What are the benefits?
I would say the benefits the benefits are to like improve your communication skills, right? The benefits can be to have a really like better understanding of yourself, why you feel. That's probably my number one answer. It's really to have a better understanding of yourself and how you feel about certain things and how to navigate that in like a very healthy manner. I think the benefits of going to like therapy with family is to understand how you're coming across. You might think like talking in a soft tone and that you do things a certain way, but that's not how it's coming across to other people. And that can cause conflict in other relationships that you had no idea was conflict. You know what I mean? So I think that it is really just having a full understanding of yourself in different components, like different areas of your life. And to really also like, get coping strategies for certain things you deal with, like, and to normalize depression and anxiety, because it's normal. We all go through those. So I think therapy is a really good space to be able to normalize a lot of things in your head and also be able to pick up on like how to communicate something in a productive manner and understand that you have control over your life. You're in control. You do not have to have the same type of anger or abusive tendencies that people in your family had. You get to decide something different. Break that generational curse, as they say.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I agree with that. And a lot of people, like, I've seen this personally, like, in my own family, like you said, generational curse, like, some adults don't know how to be parents, and they base their parenting skills on how they were raised. Like, oh, well, my mom did this and my dad did that, and it's kind of like, well, did you like when they did that? No. It's like, then why are you doing it to your own? And it's just kind of like a psychological repetition. And it's like, if you want them to feel the same things you felt as a kid, then why are you repeating it?
Yeah, I see that all the time. You would think that, if you're an abusive person, you wouldn't abuse someone else, but some people have that resentment inside of them. They want to take it out on someone else. You know what I mean? To make them feel how they feel, because I had to deal with it, so you fine, you got to deal. You know what I mean? So some people just don't heal from that, and it makes them bitter, and they take it out on other people. Sorry that I'm so horrible that it's their children, because I hear about it all the time. But those kids can grow up and still be healthy adults. You don't have to be like, what, and that's my story. It's like, I'm a person that was abused by my father. Like, you change the wording, you take your power back. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be your. Am I freezing?
So you were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up too.
Oh, dang. Okay. Well, let me know. I got a couple more questions, and then I'll go ahead and let you go. But what traits would you think, or would you recommend for someone to look out for, not to fall back into the same, like, repetitive toxic relationship, or say if they, or toxic friendship? If you see certain traits, I guess how can you not repeat your same relationships and mistakes? I guess is what I'm asking.
Okay, so let's talk about like red flags. Talk about green
flags,
red flags, yellow flags. We talk about all the flags. Like, okay, A red flag for me in a friendship would be someone that's self-centered. I don't get to talk about myself. It's all about you and what you want to do, right? Another one is not validating how I feel. If I tell you, hey, that really hurt my feelings, and you try to gaslight me, or you make me feel like you're testing my reality, if that happened, or blaming me for how I feel. Another one I would say you don't fall back into is someone that tries to berate you and make you feel like, oh, those shoes, your outfit, oh, this, ooh, that. Like they're always criticizing you constantly, right? Those are the things I can think of that I feel like are noticed pretty what's the word I'm looking for? You can notice up front. I was looking for a different word.
Yeah.
But you can notice like in the beginning relationship for the most part. People do hide things. You want to make certain that you're really paying attention, you're getting to know the person. You're not just like, in la la land because you like them. You know what I mean? It's new and it's an obvious thing. But I would say that people just don't validate your feelings. They don't listen, overtalk you, they blame you, like things like that. You want to make sure that you understand that that's a part of their personality, and it's going to continue if you don't address it or you don't leave. Sometimes you don't need to have a conversation with them and say, hey, this is toxic trait. It's like, hey, I'm going to be out. Like you have to have a conversation with people. It depends upon the situation, but you have every right to do what you feel like is best. So you don't owe anybody you don't owe anyone anything.
Right. Okay. My last question is for people who feel like they are settling for this friendship, settling for this relationship. What is your advice to someone who feels like they're settling? Because personally, I feel like if you're settling, it's kind of like, I feel like that's where, if you feel like you're settling, that's like kind of like a reflection of yourself. It's like, why are you settling if you don't feel satisfied? You know what I mean? So I guess I'm asking, like, what's it?
Oh, no, I just said yeah.
I guess I'm asking, like, what are some tips for people to, overcome that? And I guess maybe, if you feel like you're settling, like, I guess, like, similar to the previous question, it's like, repeating that cycle of, like, toxic traits. When you see that person is toxic and it's like you've been down this lane before, it's like, and, you don't want to repeat the same relationship or repeat the same mistakes. I guess, how can you refrain or get the courage to not settle?
I would say you have to have self-awareness that you're doing that in the first place, right? It's all settling has to do with worth, which you feel like you're worthy of. You only person that's gonna like me is him, so I might as well just stay with him. Who else is gonna love me? Those types of things come up a lot for my clients when they know settling, but they don't see it up front, right? It's more about worth and like they can't do better. So my advice for them was probably to identify how you feel about yourself and how you feel in the relationship. If you're not, I'm not saying you're gonna feel butterflies every day in your relationship, but if you are crying or you feel badly more than you feel good in your relationship, it's not for you. It's not. Like take out the TV and the trauma stuff on the TV and the movies about it's hard and you got to go through all these things and you have to break a woman for her to be a woman. That's not real. There are difficulties. I deal with them with my clients, but shouldn't have to feel miserable to feel love. So I think people also have to identify their perception of love, because some people will settle because they think, well, he buy me thing, he hit me sometimes, so I mean that's fine. It's a relationship. I mean, some people just have very warped a mentality around what they feel a relationship looks like, and also how their parents or whoever they were raised by did relationships. So there's a lot in there that they have to identify, but first step, you got to be aware.
Right. I like that a lot. Like, the reason why I asked that question, because I do have a friend, she told me the other day, she's like, if you knew, like, who I was dating, like, you would think that I'm settling, like, I'm definitely settling. And I didn't say anything because, I didn't want to upset her, but I'm thinking, like, well, sweetheart, why what are you saying to me? Like, you basically saying to me that, you just found anybody that just finds a liking for you and you just with it. And it's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. And like you said, it's like, love isn't supposed to be, like, it's not supposed to be painful. Like, you're not supposed to just accept anything. Like, you're going to be with this person, and, you choose this person, it needs to be fair. It needs to be equal. And, settling is just not the thing to do.
Yeah, I missed one. I missed one that I could say too. People have a fear of being alone, right? And
Yes.
like I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 35, but I'm not. But a lot of my clients that are like 30, they're like, I'm 30 and I need to be married, have kids. I don't really feel like that in particular. I want that for myself, but hey, it'll happen when it's gonna happen. But if they feel like I'm 30 and he's not, he got a job, he got a 401k, he might check the boxes, but he might not be for them. So they might
Right.
settle for that person because they fear that they're running out of time. So that's another big one that I think a lot of people struggle with, and they don't know how to maneuver because
Mm-hmm.
I pass him up or her up, I don't know if I'm going to get another chance.
I agree. I agree. I have some older siblings, and they're like about 30. Um, and I have like two older sisters, and one of them I think feels that way, and I think it's also because she has children. And
Yeah.
my other one, she's still single, and she looks like she's my age. She looks like she's 24. She's smaller than me, and like she's still basically like I don't know. I don't even know if she ever wants to get married. Like she wants to just have fun. Like she loves to dance and go out and go take trips. So it's like I do agree that some girls or women who hit a certain age think that they're running out of time. And honestly, I mean maybe I'm not at that age yet, but I don't feel that way. I feel like there's always time. I feel like people get married and have children in their 40s. I mean my aunts did.
Yeah.
Both of my aunts had their last child at 41. So it's like it's definitely possible for you to still find love, still be happy, and still have that dream family. You don't have to settle.
Yeah. But the media and the movies are oversaturated with like love and then like the examples of relationships. I think people get a little confused. They speed up their timeline. We're not like our parents where they had to get married. Like even my grandparents
Yeah.
were parents. Like get married, first person that you fell in love with, and have kids early. Like it's not like that anymore. You have options. You can get your career together. You can travel.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think there's a lot of pressure from like just the
I
media.
think so too.
Yeah.
And I think it's inner pressure. I mean, maybe it is, your family probably, oh, when you gonna have kids? When you gonna get married? But it's like I said, I'm not at that age yet. But I don't know. I don't think I'll worry too much when I hit 30 about, those type of things. I feel like they will come as my life continues. So, but I mean, I know my sisters don't really feel that way. I will say that, but I know, some women do, and I hate to hear that because it's like, there's definitely hope.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're 30 does not mean you're old by far. Even 40 is not old. So it's like, get a grip. You know, still do all the things you want to do because once you fall in love and have children, you probably won't be able to do everything.
You're not gonna
So,
do. Be honest, you got to plan around this. You got to plan your money budget. So it's a lot harder in my.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, mm. But thank you. Those are all the questions I had. I appreciate you really taking the time to come on with us today. I feel like we dropped a couple gems. I can see in the comments a lot of people are really loving what we had to say. They said we were very nice ladies, and they really enjoyed this conversation with us. Could you please tell the people again where they can find you, your social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
Okay. So I don't have all the social media. I
Okay,
really
that's
just
fine. Whatever you have.
Instagram and Clubhouse for the most part, but on both it's
Ooh,
therapy.
Clubhouse.
Yes, therapy with underscore Brea. Brea is BREEAA. And then
Mm-hmm.
thank you for having me on. I always enjoy the conversations and just
Oh
kind
yeah.
of dialogue that we get to have on this
Oh
channel.
yeah, of course. Yeah, we
Yep.
love having you on. For some of you guys that have been on our live before, you probably have seen Brea plenty of times. We've had her at least 2 or 3 times. So,
Yep.
but
Right.
we enjoy you every single time you come on with us. We really appreciate the gems that you drop. You definitely be dropping like some eye openers, at least personally for me, in my personal situations, because Lord knows I overanalyze.
Yeah.
So sometimes I be thinking it's up here and it's probably like down here. So
Yeah.
I
Others.
appreciate your time. Also, you guys, don't forget we are having our sale all month for our spot specials for 2 flawless facials, and you'll also get a sample rose pepper kit. So keep that in mind, and that's for you and anybody that you want to invite with you. So keep that in mind. That's for the entire month of February, and all of that, the 2 flawless facials and the sample kit is for $250. So we appreciate you guys joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have anything else to say before we log off?
I don't. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys all soon. I'm regular, so I'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be back, you guys. Stay tuned in March. We'll have her again soon.
Bye.
Bye, Brea.